everybody. Here I am. It's Thursday, October 30th. I know that it's been a while since I made a video. I think I made one last weekend, but I really haven't been steady with my videos, and my topics of discussion have dramatically changed. I'm not in that mindset where I want to talk about politics all the time. It's depressing, and quite frankly, everybody knows what's going on, and everybody has an opinion why what's happening is happening. All right? So, one of the most obvious things right now that most people are talking about, either when you hear it from your friends at work or family, or if you're watching the news, or if you're checking out YouTube channels where discussions about politics is happening, then you know what's going on. The big shutdown. I think we're entering our 7th week, I'm not sure. Maybe 5th or 6th week. More like our 5th week. Anyways, let's talk about my job. I'm staying busy on my job, but I'm working harder to get customers. I mean, it's all relative, right? So it's relative because the economy has tanked. Our president decided to shut the government down, okay? Despite what we hear from the Republicans when they say that Democrats shut it down. That's not possible. It makes more sense if you think about why is it that Democrats did not shut the government down, and rather it's been the Republicans all along. You see, they're using this SNAP food benefit for people who are having a hard time making ends meet, okay? So they're using it as a bargaining chip so Democrats could vote to pass the big ugly bill. So they're not doing the big ugly bill. They're not voting for it, the Democrats. So therefore, the Republicans are blaming them that the government is shut down. But you're a big boy or you're a big girl. You know what's happening because you have more common sense than President Trump. All right? So what has all this got to do with me and my big decisions that I'm going to tell you guys? Before I continue, I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers and to those people just checking out my channel for the first time. If you see something here that resonates with you, then please consider unsubscribing. If you subscribe, hit that bell twice so you get future notifications of all my uploads. Don't forget to leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up, and share. I'll be right back with more.
No connection after the summer breaks for long.
I'm not suggesting anything so complicated.
Well, anyways, it's very obvious that the economy has really tanked, okay? Right now, it's a bad time to sell your home, because if you sell your home, you're going to take a hit, okay? And if you're a single woman like myself who lives alone, then guess what? You're responsible for the upkeeping, the maintenance, and all the costs that's related to owning a home. If you have a mortgage, then you have to pay the mortgage. You're responsible for everything under this roof. the utility bills, the home insurance, your property taxes, and all that great stuff that comes along when you buy a home, okay? So, this is the second time that I've thought about selling my home. The first time was several months ago when I thought about selling this and then buying another one. But my mind has changed. Not that I don't want to sell my home, but I think it's wise for me to sell my home. It's wise because I'm listening to my stomach. I'm listening to my guts. Am I feeling kind of nervous? Okay. I bought this home with no assistance from nobody but my own financials, my savings, and part of my retirement to get into this home, as some of you guys know. So, lately, for the past, I would say 2.5 to 3 months, especially when the government was shut down, especially when Trump came in office, I have not felt very secure living here with the way the market has been and also the work situation has been. Right now, our government, the people who work for the federal government, whether it's the IRS, whether it's Social Security, whether it's for the Veterans Affairs, anything that's tied to the federal government, those people are not working. The government's shut down. When the government's shut down, that means that they're not getting paid. And millions of people right now actually are having their Social Security checks interrupted, right? We're going on 5 weeks with the government shutdown. It's been over 30 days, guys. I'm noticing that even in my own business where I work, in my job, I noticed that the sales have dropped. Customers are not coming in like they used to. Contractors are coming in, home builders are coming in, but it's slowed down a lot. The cost of lumber has gone up. The cost of electrical and plumbing and roofing materials, along with lumber, has shot up. The costs are up. And those people that shop with us, that are either handymen, contractors, homeowners, or plumbers or electricians, they're expecting to get some kind of discount when they shop with us, and it's very difficult for my company to honor discounts for these people that have been customers for a very long time. The company I work with wants to make a profit. So these contractors want to make a profit. So what's happened essentially is their customers are feeling the squeeze of their contractors or their workers, because when our cost goes up, theirs goes up with their customers. But for some miraculous thing, they're still in business, but if their customers want jobs done, or if they want to upgrade in their home, repair a roof, or remodel, or whatever needs to be done, then the contractors want to get paid. They have to pass along the cost to them. They can't save them any money because they're not getting nothing free. So when you have that kind of economy where the materials have gone up, then customers or people who want work done in their home will shop around for the cheapest person. Okay? But, my job is still getting done. But what all this does to me is it makes me feel uncomfortable. okay? Because my cost here where I live is going up. My HOA is going to be going up. Even though I filed homestead last year, I think my home taxes are going to go up. My home insurance is going to go up. And like I said, my HOA is going to go up. After careful consideration and careful thinking and looking at the pros and the cons, it's really not worth me staying here working just to pay a mortgage. I'm 60 years old. I feel like all I do is work, and most of my income is going to pay a big chunk on this mortgage. I don't have a big mortgage, but then again, I don't have a huge income. All right? I'm a single person. I have no assistance here. I'm alone. So for the past 2 or 3 weeks, I've been looking at possible states to move to, preferably a little closer to my family, but not in the same city. Maybe a few cities away, or maybe even a state away, okay? About 2 weeks ago, I was at work and I met this realtor, and her husband was shopping at my store, and I asked her for her real estate business card, and she gave it to me, and I briefly explained to her what my plans are. And so last week I contacted her while she was on vacation, and then we spoke, and then yesterday she came by and I signed the contract for sales to put my house on the market, and then to get what I can out of it and just go back into renting for a little while. So the good thing is I'm locating a lot of rental homes that are cheaper than my mortgage, and I can actually save money and not worry about if something happens with my job, then it would be very easy for me to pick up and leave, to go anywheres, okay? But if I stay here and if I lose my job, then I'm going to lose my home, because nobody in their right mind is going to stay in a home after they lost their job and pay the mortgage with their savings or even their retirement. Because if you don't find a job right now in this lousy economy that we're in, then you're going to suck your savings dry and you're going to suck your retirement dry. That's what fears me the most, okay? It's difficult looking for a job right now in this market. You have a lot of competition. Remember, businesses have slowed down. The retail environment has slowed down. Companies are laying people off, and a lot of companies are shutting down. You know what the deal is. I guess we can thank Donald Trump with the tariffs that's caused this nervousness that myself and millions of people are experiencing. The other day, I was listening to the news, and they were saying that bankruptcies have gone up. Foreclosures are on the rise. People are losing their homes. Okay? For the first time, they're seeing soup kitchens run out of food. Americans who have a low income that cannot afford to even own a home or continue to pay their rent are having a hard time putting food on their table. They have mouths to feed, okay? And the Trump administration has stopped a lot of the programs or assistance for these people, like the SNAP program, where they get they get a surplus or money loaded on their SNAP cards, and that's how they buy part of their groceries. It helps them buy food. They can't buy maybe diapers with it. They can't buy makeup with it. They can't buy any luxury items with it. It's got to be for nutritious, wholesome food so they can feed their children and themselves while they get back on their feet. Okay? So that's the big talk right now, the discontinuation of SNAP. But like I said before, the Republicans are dangling the SNAP thing in Democrats' faces. If they want the government to open back up, then they need to get on board with them to push the big ugly bill through, and the Democrats are holding back. I can't blame them, because if they go along with the Republicans, then about 17 million people or more are going to lose their health benefits. Who in their right mind would make children suffer and families suffer? Okay? Who in their right mind are going to do this? The Republicans. Okay? Trump. None of this makes sense to me, but it's what's happening right now. Okay? There's a lot of animosity going on. There's a lot of fear-mongering going along. I went shopping Sunday, and my groceries were $80. I felt like I was buying maybe $50 worth of stuff. I spent $80, but I look at my groceries, it looked like I only spent $50. The costs have gone up. Milk costs have gone up. The egg prices are still up. Okay? Gasoline prices are like a roller coaster. In some counties, they're cheaper. Where I live, it's still the same. All right? My company just started their enrollment for healthcare. My healthcare is going to be about $198 a month, taken out of my check every 2 weeks. Okay? And basically right now, I'm living almost paycheck to paycheck. And when I get my check, it's already spent. 85% of my check is going towards my mortgage. It's going towards my mortgage, my home insurance, and the taxes I got to pay on this home. And then everything else is secondary, my utilities, okay? And then groceries, my personal bills, my credit cards, my car insurance, okay? It's not easy, guys, but if I'm explaining this to American people, it's like I'm preaching to the choir, because they're going through the same thing I'm going through, if not worse, because they have a family to feed. I'm by myself. This is why I've made the hard decision to sell my home and get back into renting. I'm going to rent another home. I'm not going to go into an apartment. I'm going to rent another home. But the big decision I have is, should I go back up north, or should I stay here in Florida? I already have a job here. If I want to leave and move, I got to spend money on moving, okay? Because I have to rent a truck, and I have to have a home up there to live, and I have to stop my job transfer early. So when my realtor came by yesterday, we talked all about this. And she says, I'm worried. I just want to make sure that you have a home to go to when you sell this, because you're going to have about 30 to 60 days to get out. And she said right now, homes are selling between 60 and 120 days. So that's between 2 months and 4 months, right? So I say yes. I told her I'm looking at apartments. I'm looking at single family homes to rent. That's cheaper than my mortgage. Okay? I could stay here until a nicer weather comes up, because I really don't want to move in the wintertime. Here, it's we're going into November, and we're almost going to be going into winter. But the weather here is more tolerable. If I'm driving up north, by the time I get there, there's going to be snow on the ground. Do I want to haul my vehicle on a transporter with all my things and my 3 cats? That's going to be tough, guys. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to rent here, and immediately I will not have an HOA to pay of $300 a month, or homeowners insurance, or property taxes. Okay? And I'm not so sure if I want to buy another home right now. I have to see politically how this country, with the economic and this recession that we're in right now, is gonna go. It doesn't make sense to sell this house and immediately go try to buy another one. Okay? Even if I buy a house that's HOA free, a freestanding home with no HOA, even if I do that, that means I got to go back and take more money out of my savings for a down payment and closing cost. Because when I sell my house, I'm going to have a closing cost, and then another closing cost if I decide to buy another house. That's a lot to chew. I'm 60 years old. If I sell this house, I might not want to buy another home. Instead, I would rent a nice place, and I would spend the rest of my life just traveling and enjoying the years I have left. Okay? I don't have anything to prove to people. Okay? It's not who owns a house or don't own the house. Because most people have a roof over their heads, and some people don't even have that. I just want to be able to breathe more and not worry about how the economy is going to affect me living in a home with a mortgage. Like I was saying earlier, foreclosures have gone up since Trump came into office. Okay? Credit cards and loans are on default right now. People are filing bankruptcy. Okay? During the Trump second term. All right? So that's what I want to talk to you guys about. I'm not crying to you guys or anything like that. But I just thought I'd touch base with you guys because I'm just another American trying to survive, trying to put food on my table, and pay my bills and pay my mortgage. The other thing that's also pushing me to put this house on the market is that when you live in a community with HOA, HOAs run your life in this place. Those people run on a schedule. Every 5 years or whatever, They're going to walk by your home and look at your roof, look at your siding, okay? And determine should you have your roof replaced. When I bought this house, I had it inspected. They said I had 10 more years on this roof. My neighbors may not have 5 or 10 years. If more homes on my street and in my community have less than 10 years, let's say 5, then I'm going to be forced, along with them, to replace my roof. That's about $15,000 to replace my roof on my house. And then 3 years from now, they want the whole exterior of homes to be painted because it's almost been 10 years since they were painted. That's what HOAs do. They try to keep your house value up by you keeping up with your maintenance. The first month when I lived here, one of the members of the HOA came to my home with a welcoming pamphlet. You know what was one of the first things she told me? This is your handbook. This has all the HOA rules and regulations that you have to abide by. If you don't abide by some of the things that we demand, then we can foreclose on your house. That was a wake-up call for me. I'm like, she came here to greet me and welcome me in, and she's telling me how they can foreclose on my home? Well, that's not much of a welcoming committee to me. When I bought this house, I had 3 other homes on the list that I needed to look at before I settled on buying a home. Well, when I came to this community, I fell in love with the neighborhood. It's a clean, pristine cul-de-sac of single-family homes and villas. The outer ring of my community are all freestanding, and all the homes in the center are all villas or townhomes that have attached walls on them. That's where I live. But I fell in love with it, and I didn't go see the other homes that were on my list before I made my decision. And now I regret it. But you know what? I'm not going to kick myself in the butt. I'm just going to nip it in the butt and do what's best for me because I'm still young. I'm 60 years old. And if I can leave here and go rent for a little while, keep working, save my money, because now I'll be able to save more money. Right now, I'm hardly saving anything. I'm just working to pay a mortgage. But I'll continue renting a home, and I'll try to enjoy my life as my life proceeds forward. I would like to go on a cruise. I would like to take a free vacation. Instead of being here all day, all the time, every year, and not go anywhere. I want to travel. I want to see things. There's one more thing I want to talk to you guys about. I have been very seriously considering how this government plays out. Trump has another 3 before he leaves office, okay? And the primaries are next year. And then they're going to vote in 2028 for a new administration. And as you know, no intention of getting out of office. This man goes back and forth all the time. He's wearing a new mask all the time. He's like a chameleon. Nobody knows what he's going to do. Nobody knows what he's thinking. Okay? But right now, many people, even the people that voted for him have been turning against him. We know all about this. If you've seen the No Kings March all across the country, that's how much unhappiness that's coming from this country because of this man we have in office. Because of this, I live in fear. I don't want to lose my rights. Okay? I want to live happy. I want to enjoy my freedom. I don't want to be told how to live my life. Because of this, I was also giving some heavy thought into when I settle my retirement and get my finances in order and my Social Security and my health care, I may be looking into living in another country. Because if Trump starts another insurrection because he doesn't want to leave the Oval Office to let the new president come in, then we're going to have a big problem. You see, Trump is already redistricting many states with the help of those governors of those states. And Governor Newsom of California, because of Trump doing that, he's doing the same thing. So you got two parties doing the same thing with many states because they're trying to balance it out. President Trump, I don't want to call him President Trump. He's not a president to me. To me, he's just a tyrant. Okay, he's a tyrant. Because of him cheating, because he wants 3 or 5 seats so he can win, so his administration or the Republicans can stay in office. It put a lot of fear in all the Democrats and those governors and those senators. Now they're doing the same thing. There's a lot of stress and a lot of pressure, a lot of tension going on right now. We're living in unprecedented times, and that's causing a lot of people. A lot of citizens are going back to their mother countries. I'm not talking about the so-called immigrants that they're deporting, but I'm thinking if I can live a happier life in another country, that's also a possibility, but that's one that takes a lot of planning, because when I go, I got to make sure I have income coming in over there, okay? And if I can get my Social Security in order and cash out my retirement and take out money out of my savings, because if I'm going to go to another country, I can't take my vehicle, I can't take my motorcycle. Those things have to be sold. Everything in this home would have to be sold. Everything. I can't take it with me. And when I get to another country, then I got to get in touch with possibly a family member who's there to help me out and plan this out a year or so in advance. But it's difficult to call the shots on that because we don't know politically, economically, how we're going to be. We don't know if Trump's going to be in office or not. But one thing is for sure. If what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing is correct, that they're going to fight to stay in and try to get a third term in for Trump, then I definitely don't want to stay here. Because if he does that, like he said in his last campaign, there will be no more voting needed, which means he's going to be like a President Putin, okay? Or Stalin, or Hitler. I would definitely do not want to live here. I don't want to live here. I wonder how many people feel the same way that I feel. I don't know. But I have a good guess. A lot of people are not happy. They feel insecure in their jobs. They feel they're going to lose their freedoms. They feel like they live in a un-American America. This isn't what people voted for. But that's what I have. Anyways, if you guys are stateside and you watch my video, you think it's interesting, please give me a thumbs up, share. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. I'm trying to make more videos as much as I can, but a lot has been on my mind naturally, and I don't want to go back on my channel and do the same old, complain about the politics and talk about that, because those are things that each and one of you can dial in either on YouTube or your TVs and watch what's going on. Make the best decision for yourselves. But anyway, I'll be talking to you guys soon. Have a nice day.
230 years ago, I addressed the people of the United States and gave up power after 8 years as president. Today, I address you again, not merely a phantom from the past, but a friend who aided in our republic's birth. Now I see its soul in peril. When we founded this country, we threw off a tyrant. One has returned. We wrote a constitution to thwart dictators. It is failing. Our Bill of Rights is being violated more quickly and more profoundly than we ever anticipated. I call upon you to rise up once again. All public servants, all soldiers, all workers of every rank and profession can refuse to cooperate with this tyranny. We threw off a king once. We must do it again.